Sports, when you've got a great ball club. Sports, when you're leaving it all on the field. Sports, you like your team's chances. Sports, to survive and advance in sports. For the teams you love and the teams you love to hate. Oh, it's Sports Channel. Sports Channel 8. Hey! Hey! Hey!
Sports Channel 8 the stream. Coming at you on a Friday. We got Go Bulls, Portal Hunter, and Devin Leary, the way too early 2023 number one. Portal Hunter sounds like a TV series I might watch, or something else I might watch that streams on the internet.
It's a category.
It's a category.
It's a category for sure.
Ben Swain, Brian Geisinger, Josh Goodson joining us. The weather moves apparently too good for a Friday. Guess he's playing golf or something. Goodson, I can't believe you were not out on a golf course.
I'm telling you, the second kid. But here's the honesty. We're through the 6-week window where like evidently mothers like can't like do anything for themselves except for feed the baby and such. So we're not recording this, right? Okay.
Yes.
No. So we are past that, but there is like the guilt factor is like ramped up like tenfold with the second kid of like, I don't mind leaving. I have left, but there's like usually negotiations, and it usually involves, hey, neighbor, you're playing golf with me, and also I need your 11-year-old and 8-year-old to come over to my house to keep my 3-year-old entertained while I'm playing golf. So there's a lot of maneuvering parts. So I'm not just like a total asshole about, hey, I'm going to go play golf. See you in 5 hours.
I love the thought of Josh Swain. Maybe you can chime in on this too. BG and I are kidless, but like post giving birth, you can't say anything to your wife, right? But like at some point, 2 months after, whatever, you've been like, I'm downstairs and she's upstairs and she's coming down. Can I say, hey, can you bring something with you? Like what's like the mildest favor? But even like for the first 4 weeks, you're like, not even touching that, not asking anything. I'm doing it all. So
yeah. I'm going to try to play golf Sunday. I did play in a little scramble yesterday in the neighborhood, and I actually won the long drive, which is surprising. And this might be the most disrespecting thing that can happen to a man, especially when he plays golf. Okay. I play in the golf scramble. I leave immediately because I knew we weren't going to win like the actual prize. And I was like, I'll just come on back home. I'm 5 minutes down the road at the Wendell Country Club. The guy who's putting it on calls me 10 minutes later when everyone's in the clubhouse going over prizes. And he's like, so we got your name down here as the longest drive. Like, you didn't do that, did you? Like, you just signed your name. You're joking, right? I was like, yo, come on. Give me a break. I hit a great drive, and it was one of those situations where the hole is kind of weird that if you hit it too far, and you have to be in the fairway to be the longest drive, and so if you hit it too far, you might go in the water. I did hit a good drive. I won the long drive. It won me $20 and a sleeve of golf balls, but pretty disrespectful when a guy calls you to make sure, like, hey, I've seen you hit a golf ball before. There's no way you hit the longest drive.
Yeah, that was not you. Not you.
I will say respect for like not being there to collect your prize. That's kind of a baller move. I did that one time in college. A buddy of mine that was into like CrossFit didn't even exist. I still have a bag that says Nike cross training and fitness competition, whatever. It's like before they determined we needed to shorten the words. And he and his bunch of marathon friends did all this stuff. Well, somebody got hurt and they needed somebody to jump in. So I was like, dude, I'm in shape. I could do it. And he used to make fun of me and saying like, oh, you couldn't like hang with us. We did it. And it was like a series of like 6 or 8 events. And so we didn't really know where our standing was. Like we finished second in one, third in another. I think we like won the mile relay, but like we didn't think we were doing that well. So I bounced. They had to like call me in Virginia and be like, yeah, we won. Like nothing better than like I was the best in the competition here, and I didn't even show up for your prize thing. I got better things to do than sit around for you to tell me how good.
We need to normalize more scrambles playing golf.
Yeah.
Like we often don't do it unless there's like some like charity event or some like tournament. Like we should be doing that way more often. Like when you're just hanging out with your friends playing golf on like a Saturday.
What's minimum number of people you need for a scramble?
mean, 2, right?
Maybe I should say this. What officially is a scramble? Like I've seen that word thrown on many of the golf tournaments.
So like a
1,000 different names.
scramble or like a tournament scramble?
No, I meant like just a bet, like playing like best shot, like a captain's choice type thing. Like
Oh,
if
you
you're
can do
out,
like 2-on-2. You can do 2-on-2.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're just saying any time of like combining playing for the best?
Yeah.
Every
We
time.
just don't do that enough. Like we often every day, it's like we have to go out there and play our own ball on our own score. And we're trying to do something. Like no, like scrambles are fun. You can try to you can shoot a number that you would never attain like with your own ball. We need to do it more than just like in a pure tournament charity type setting.
I'm all about good golf scores. Speaking of golf, Jay Wright of Villanova.
By the way, this sounds like I've never done a scramble, but this sounds like the participation trophy of how to play golf. So
It's not the participant because you still have like a winner. Like somebody's still going to be better than somebody else. But it would be a way of like, BG, we could get you out because like you're not feeling the worst thing in golf is when like you lose it and you hit a bad shot and then another bad shot that's worse and then like you're slowing the group down where it's like, no, I just want to be able to hit a shot. If it's bad, no problem. We go to somebody else's ball and hit there. And like I'm going to get some practice in, might roll a putt in, might hit a decent shot at some point. So yes.
It's like Olympic gymnastics, right? Like you've got somebody that's an expert on the floor, you've got somebody that's an expert on the beam. That's how you build your scramble team. You need to get somebody to get you off of the tee. You need someone that is going to hit lag putts all day to give your group reads.
Big lag guy over here.
And you need that to not be Moose, basically.
Also,
if Moose is your lag putt guy, you are losing.
Also, while we're calling people out, look, I feel like we need to treat people fairly. And I think it can fairly be said, Abby Labar is not your long drive person.
No.
We thought her cheating from the red tees would be good for our team.
Look, we got to expand on that because like
game.
You're playing in a team scramble, right? And so you take the best drive. So the best way to get the best drive is to have someone on your team that's hitting from the women's tees that's going to hit a good shot. You're going to be like 60 yards in on every second shot on every hole. You're on in 2 on every par 5. So a couple of years ago, we're playing. Was it the SAS? Is that what it was? Was it SAS? Playing in SAS Media Day Scramble. Me and Goodson and Moose call in Abby Labar to be our fourth because she's an athlete. She plays golf.
She was coming up with this
red tees, and she's gonna crush it. So she shows up and has her now fiance's golf clubs that don't fit her at all. That's in like the first hole, we're like, all right, we got this, and she hits it, and the ball goes like 6 feet in front of her, and we're like, oh man, this is going to be a long day. But we had fun playing with her, and I think it was still like we won, right? Goodson, did we win? Yeah, we won. We won anyway, but we tried to cheat and win convincingly, but we had to grind out the win anyway. But
we always said the red tees are cheating, and so now we just went out and found ourselves a red tee player. But now we're on the search. Any female sports Channel 8 fans that play for the red tees legally and want to be a part of our next
more scrambles and more red tee Tuesdays for everybody.
Hit us up. Speaking of playing golf, Jay Wright is going to be doing a lot of it now. He is retiring. Are there any good college basketball coaches left? It's like
well, after Mike Young, I don't think so.
Who's the guy at Michigan State? I forget his name. People always talk about him.
Is Izzo like the best? Like I know we're gonna joke about it, but like is Izzo the best coach left right now?
No.
By resume?
I mean, he's one of them. But
if you're going by resume or like
well, Bill Self would be resume. I would.
Yeah,
I think Bill Self is also like. Bill Self has the resume and is also a very good coach. So.
Now, what if stuff happens with the FBI and stuff gets redacted from his resume? Does he fall down like off of that?
He's still a really good coach. Would be my thought. Like I think Self in terms of like program building, X and O's adjustments is like a 99. He's really good.
I feel like as a very I don't follow basketball a ton. I didn't appreciate Villanova and Jay Wright enough until now. Like they were good, and they've been good for a long time, and they've won 2 titles in the last
2 titles,
5 years. I mean,
bunch of Final Fours. They were just sort of like the gold standard for how to do it at a like non-blue blood.
They would never. They would never be like a team like if you're like scares you, if that makes sense. From like we're going to show up and they're just going to be over.
Some of their teams absolutely should have scared you.
They got dudes playing in the NBA.
They've got a lot of guys playing in the NBA.
Well, I go back to this. I guess my thing is I go back to the year the state upset them in the NCAA tournament. Right, they were a 1 seed. Like I didn't go into that game being like, yeah, if we lose, they're probably a better team, better X's and O's, better coach, all those things. But like man versus man, when they didn't have anything on that team, and it seems like a lot of their teams didn't have a ton of just overall gonna wow you with talent and athleticism at every position, like a Duke, like a UNC, like a Kansas, Kentucky.
Well, like the 2018 team that kind of like stomped its way to the title had Jalen Brunson, Michael Bridges, Eric Paschal, Dante DiVincenzo. Like I just named all those guys play in the NBA. 2 of them are starters, and Jalen Brunson just went nuts in the playoffs last night for the Dallas Mavericks. So like they've gotten some players to come through there. I don't know. Villanova always had like a nice mix of guys that like they got their fair share of like blue chip guys, but there were also plenty of like development success stories. Guys they would redshirt for a year, like Paschal or like DiVincenzo, or guys that would come in and develop. I think Michael Bridges was a redshirt for them as well. So I don't know. They were just sort of like the gold standard in terms of like player dev, X and O's, and like you knew every Villanova like perimeter guy had that same skill set of like drive, get in the lane, put the pivot foot down, and start like looking to pass out or post up. So yeah, I don't know. Just salute to Jay Wright. Like hell of a career.
I do want to throw this out. Jay Wright. One thing that Jay Wright never did, never won an ACC Coach of the Year.
That's true. That's true.
So I think you got to go Steve Forbes.
Yeah.
Then Jay Wright.
To Goodson's point, I feel like Villanova never felt like if you were a fan and your team drew like the 4 seed and Duke, Duke when Duke is good is the 1 seed, or when Kentucky's the good, or even like that year Wisconsin was really good, that was your 1 seed. You're like, great, we got no chance. That's the number 1 seed. But like Villanova, as much as they were good from just a fan logic perspective, it felt like, you know what, this is not some Titan that's going to run us over. Also, to be fair, I feel like if UNC had won the 2017 title, Goodson would be out here claiming it's all luck because of basically they won. I mean the 2016 Villanova won 1 title basically on a buzzer beater. That's just luck. So I feel like that's only 1.5 titles for Villanova. And can you imagine if Roy had won that one? He would have had 4 in 17 years. Plus any
whoa, easy.
Plus any reasonable fan gives UNC the automatic 2012 title. We know this. So Roy basically won 5 titles. I feel like we need to at least consider the fact that he did that. All right, jokes aside, for you specifically, Goodson, does Jay Wright hold a special place in your heart for 2016?
Yeah, I mean, we got 2016. Hell, he's a Pac Pro. I think State threw the bag at him back whenever they were the Sydney. I think it was the Sydney Lowe coaching search. Like I believe he was. They interviewed Calipari. I know before that one and had him in Raleigh. Had him like in town, was gonna sign and then left because Lee Fowler's a dummy. I think that the Gottfried one, Jay Wright, was approached and such. So he's like double Pac Pro for being a coaching candidate and beating UNC in the 2016 title.
I need in the wing of Hall of Fame coaches. I mean, in the Hall of Fame coaches, I need a wing of like this close to being an NC State coach. Just Calipari, Jay Wright, Rick Barnes. I'm sure there's some other huge ones.
Bill Cowher. And Bill Cowher always is football.
Yeah. By the way, Wake Forest could have like a pretty solid wing too. Be like, look, John Beilein, Brad Stevens. We all like Wake's got some near misses too.
I mean, UNC is what, Wes Miller and Jeff
Wes
Lebo.
Miller, George Karl. I mean, Jeff
Lebo.
Stacking names. Eddie Fogler. I mean, I can't believe they didn't go for him. Swain, you were on this one early. You said pandemic's going to do a couple things. Either dudes are going to decide, I hate not being at work and I'm in till I die, the Jim Boeheim, or the there is a different way of life, and until I was forced to observe it, I did not realize it. I think Muffin McGraw was like the first person. She was like, I stayed home for like 3 weeks and this is awesome. I'm out. And now some of these people maybe didn't want to leave their team in a lurch in the middle of the pandemic, but it seems clearly that a factor, whatever factors they cite, it seems clear that for Roy, Kay, and Jay Wright, like going through this pandemic experience had to at least factor into their decision. Correct, Swain?
I think it's, that's human nature, right? And I think that's probably more of a factor than we're giving credit to. I keep seeing like, oh, these coaches, they don't want to deal with NIL. They don't want to deal with the transfer portal. That's not true, man. Like college basketball has changed so much throughout the years, and people have dealt with it, right? It's not like this is the most drastic thing that's ever happened to college basketball. The coach is like, screw it, I'm out, I'm done. But COVID was, right? Like they were literally sent home in March to not play that tournament. The preseason was completely shot. Recruiting was different. Everything was online. Coaches are at home kind of relaxing, and that is it's kind of nice. Like when you're on that kind of grind, when you think about the grind that college basketball coaches go through, not having that for a little while is kind of nice. And especially when you get back into it, because you're either like you said, Muffet McGraw is like, hey, this is awesome, I'm just going to stay at home. Other coaches are like, man, I can't wait to get back. I miss it. I can't wait to get back to it. You get back in it and you're like, yeah, this kind of sucks.
Counterpoint.
And I think that's what we're seeing a lot of right now.
That would also that would just like fit with what we're seeing, like trends that are across industries, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people that reevaluated where they were at professionally during the pandemic and thought, no, I hate my job. This sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to deal with this right now, or I deserve better, which is like great,
What if Roy, Kay, and Jay Wright were just cheating and doing NIL the whole time, and now that everyone can do it, they're like, we're out. Like, you don't see Calipari leaving. He's like, yo, let's go. This is my world. You don't see Bruce Pearl, Bill Self, Will Wade, all those guys. They're not retiring. They're embracing now that it's legal. Duke and UNC had been just doing it forever. And now that the game has changed and everyone's called up to the arms race, like they're like, I'm out. We can't compete anymore. Like, we don't want to do this anymore.
I do like, we talk about Virginia in terms of this. Calipari finally, I feel like, is catching a little bit of heat for Kentucky fans of like, hey,
dude, it's bad.
Yeah. Maybe I've just been noticing it bigger this year. And then there was a guy that was like supposed to come and he NC Stated him. Like he's not even. Like,
so he was there. He's Shaden Sharp. Like
sure, but he did not contribute. He didn't play, right? Like
correct. No, he basically did what Dennis Smith Jr. did before Smith ended up like playing the next season for State. You know what I mean?
So just stuff like that. But again, like in our neck of the woods, it's like we want to go to Virginia fans and be like, yo, this is you win titles and you want to be awesome and you want to be talked about as the best, then if you go 3 years without making a Final Four, people are going to ask questions about what the hell you're doing. Now, Virginia appears to be – they're going to return everybody just like UNC. Swain's going to be so mad next year. Virginia and UNC are going to be good with all these like 21-year-old dudes.
Virginia's going to
Hold on.
No, you can't. We're not doing this.
Duke football, right? I've lived this through Duke football. When you're talking about, dude, Duke's bringing everybody back next year. That is not a good thing. It is not a good thing. Like, Virginia didn't make the tournament, and I'm supposed to be impressed that they brought everybody back.
We're going to think Kihei Clark is just going to morph into, like, Ja Morant or something.
But Reese Beekman and Caden Shedrick, like,
they're going to be good.
You're doing your analytic thing. No, VG. No.
They're going to be good.
NC State beat Virginia by 15 points this year.
Josh Graham is going to have UVA number 1 in his preseason ballot, and then it's going to happen, and you're going to have to hear about it from him because everybody else voted for UNC or Duke. I'm telling you, that's how it's going.
I'm just telling you, Beekman and Shedrick are like probably pros. Jaden Gardner, yes, they are. Like you have to sit in your wrongness, like.
For some reason. I'm tickled at Goodson being like, Kihei Clark's going to turn into Ja Morant. Like, I just want to see Kihei Clark going down the thing and, like, just flying through the air, going around somebody, like, back ducking, like Kihei Clark doing that.
Do like a 360 and slap the bottom of the net.
No, but even more, I need him like going around. So like, I feel like John Morant now is like the jump in front of you, look like he's going to charge, somehow like change direction in midair and slide around you, dude. Like he's the like crazy. And I need K. Clark to do that.
You brought it up, so I want to throw this out there. You brought it up. The preseason media voting.
Right.
I joked about this on Twitter a couple days ago, but I am so excited to see this play out because two things are going to happen, right? Virginia fans are going to go. Excuse me, Virginia media. It's kind of I slipped up there. I don't know. Virginia sends a lot of people to media day, right? A lot of people, a surprising amount of people cover Virginia. They go down to media day. They are going to go in they're going to rent a bus to come down to media day this year so they can vote K. Clark for preseason player of the year. And UNC fans, media, are going to do the same thing for Armando Bacot. This is like a get out the vote campaign right now between these two guys for preseason player of the year in the ACC. And I'm so excited to see how that plays out. I might even get like a touchscreen back here so that I can show that this district is going to vote Bacot. This year is going to be K. Clark. If Clark can carry this county, he's going to be ACC coach or player of the year. I'm going to do that for media day. I just played it and it's happening.
I will say, you're dead on about Bacot. I do think you are, I think you're overestimating a little bit the opinion of Clark among Virginia fans in media like him and think he's a pretty good player, but they gave the key Beekman is their point guard, right? Tony Bennett, the coach of the team, was like, Reese Beekman is better than you. You have the ball. That happened this past season. So I don't know. I don't think there's going to be I bet he'll get voted preseason All ACC, but I don't think there's going to be a push for him to for any individual awards or anything like that. But Bacot, yes, 1,000% yes.
If Bennett were a true Hall of Famer, he would have pushed K. Clark out. If he would have let him come back. To BG's point, because of Bacot going to the Final Four and all that stuff, it's going to be him in a runaway. The funniest is going to be when all of a sudden everyone is talking about preseason defensive player of the year. Oh wait, do we even have that? Do we have preseason defensive player of the year?
Leaky.
Oh, it's Leaky and Beekman. But
Leaky's good. But Leaky's going to win, though.
I know. That's what I mean. But the question is not going to be will it be Clark or Bacot. It's going to be how much of a sweep preseason for UNC is going to be. Are they going to be number one and 3 guys on first team All ACC? And I really can't remember. Do they do preseason defensive player of the year, or is it just first team and player?
I don't think they do. I don't think I don't think it's voted on at Operation Basketball or whatever.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But people make those I always make those predictions every year, and I'm sure a lot of people do as well.
Nobody. I mean, yes, I'm glad we have a defensive player of the year award. I just can't wait for Game 3 of the ACC. We're going to be having this argument of no way. Did you see oh, what? Reese has more blocks, but Leaky doesn't even get blocks or steals because their guy never gets the ball. That's how much of a lockdown he is. He doesn't let his guy those arguments going to be happening from week.
It looks 3. Like they do rookie of the year, player of the year, but not defense.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
they might change that this year though.
That we should. Yeah. We should. Defensive player of the years deserve their preseason recognition.
Just to get Leaky a banner in the Smith Center.
Yeah.
No, that'd be interesting. And if y'all bring up media day, it got me thinking. There's going to be angry people with football ACC media day with all the way too early stuff coming out. The Atlantic Division is going to be because there's the Clemson will probably end up being who's picked, right? They should. They got the best recruiting class in the world. Do what?
They have the best players. Although, dude, their quarterback, he stinks.
They got issues. But, Wake fans are going to be big mad that, they might be third. Or State fans are going to be big mad if they're third as well. And
Wake fans are definitely going to be mad. This happens every year. Wake gets voted, 5th in the Atlantic. And every Wake fan online is steamed about it. And then, for whatever it's worth, they tend to overperform those expectations for whatever it's worth.
You guys haven't even mentioned Pitt. Pitt's going to win the league, right? Pitt's the best team in the league.
Jesus.
Get out of here.
They did sign. They're going to sign Pat Narduzzi to another 10-year extension after Pitt wins the ACC for 7 years.
I got to keep it moving because I'm going to have to go to the dentist here in a little bit, and they don't like when I show up late. So let me jump to a nice Friday edition of Rightly Rated. So I just I looked at my clock and I was like, oh yeah. So
is your appointment at 10:30 or 11?
10:40. But it is. It's like I can walk there in 3 minutes. I can like drive there in a minute. But here, I've come to realize, in my life, I am not wasting time sitting in doctor's office. I know it's like polite to show up like 10 minutes before, but I'm like, you don't get me in 10 minutes early if I show up 10 minutes early. If I show up within 3 minutes of the start time, I'm getting in the same time as if I showed up 15 or 10, 20 minutes early. And like, there's that old Seinfeld, the reverse rules of like, well, if I miss an appointment, I owe half or whatever their policy is. But if they cancel an appointment or move it on me, nothing hurts them. This isn't my dentist specifically. This is me with like appointments and offices, right? My dentist is great. Shout out Woodall. But no, in general, I don't mind showing up right on time for my appointments. Better than being 10 minutes early. With that in mind, it's time to decide if things are overrated, underrated, or properly rightly rated. This is Rightly Rated. All right, first up, I got to find. Okay, first up is, these are all food rightly rated today. A lot of food headlines. Lucky Charms, are Lucky Charms overrated, underrated, or properly rightly rated? This comes up because the FDA is investigating reports of illnesses from Lucky Charms. There was just a string of people calling in and saying they had abdominal issues, nothing too serious, but the investigation comes after 3,000 people who said they had been sickened after eating Lucky Charms submitted reports to iwaspoisoned.com. Did not know that site existed. Now I got to go check that out. Lucky Charms, overrated, underrated, or rightly rated? Ben Swain.
Lucky Charms are overrated. When there's more like candy than cereal in your cereal, that's a problem. And man, I gotta say, if all these people are getting sick off of Lucky Charms, is there a vaccine that we need to take?
Yeah, well, dude, that's what I was gonna say. Is that these people just like happen to catch COVID after but also like happen to be eating Lucky Charms.
Like Lucky Charms. One of the three most like popular cereals, probably, and these people
I do actually have a stat here that wearing a mask while eating Lucky Charms is 100% effective. That you will not get sick from eating.
That's true.
We just need 2 weeks. 2 weeks of no Lucky Charms in the world, and we'll be good.
Swain, we get it, Swain and Goodson. I will say, back in the day, I was the king. Like I'm bad at willpower. Like setting a goal and then like not cutting a corner. But like my self-discipline came into effect when I was like, I'm only going to eat the cereal part and leave myself with not mushrooms, marshmallows. And I was really good. Like you'd be like eating them, you'd be like, man, I want to cheat and eat 2 marshmallows. You're like, no, I'm eating all the cereal stuff, and then I can get the greatest ball of marshmallows ever known to man. And I think sometimes I felt a little sick after eating that many marshmallows. So some of these people probably are just eating too many Lucky Charms. Like
I will also say too, I feel like it's very generous to refer to those as marshmallows too. Like every marshmallow in a Lucky Charm is like from the Great Depression. They're all like dehydrated and like sticky and somehow gross, like and sticky. Like it's not.
They're an MRE. They're part of like the MRE packages in Ukraine and Russia right now that people are eating.
Yes, it does feel like astronaut food when you get those.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Next up, Snickers. Are Snickers overrated, underrated, or rightly rated? This comes up because there was a big discussion about the vein coming out of Snickers. Somebody was complaining that they took the dick vein out of Snickers. This became a saga. Snickers had to chime in about, no, the veins are there. Twix was like responding and being like, love your look, guys. Like it got a little weird. Snickers, overrated, underrated, or rightly rated? Brian Geisinger.
I would say rightly rated. It's like, I don't know. It's a perfectly fine candy bar, but not my favorite.
It's to me the floor of it
stink. I think they stink.
No, They have a high floor. Like, you know.
Also, the frozen ice cream versions of these are better than the actual candy bar.
Excellent. Swain, I see you contemplating over there.
Yeah, I think just in general, all candy bars are overrated. So I'm going to say that Snickers are also underrated.
As opposed to like
overrated, excuse me.
As opposed to like Starburst or Skittle, like all candy or candy bars specifically.
I mean, I kind of tend towards candy being overrated, but candy bars are definitely overrated.
Goodson, did you chime in on this?
Yes, Snickers kind of stink.
All right. Would you be if you opened your Snickers and you saw a flat, smooth surface, would you be taken aback?
A flaccid candy bar.
I would not.
All right. And then finally, on Rightly Rated, Oreos. Are Oreos overrated, underrated, or rightly rated? This comes up because researchers at MIT explain how to make the filling stick to just one side. That's obviously the goal. If you're tearing them apart, you want like one side that's fully cream and one side that's fully cookie. Are Oreos overrated, underrated, or rightly rated? I can't remember what the researchers found.
They're underrated. Like
Oreos
with milk, it's still like it hits. Like it's never not good. It doesn't happen enough either.
Researchers devised an Oreometer, a device designed to split the cookie with a scientifically precise amount of torque. The hope is with the perfect twist, researchers could manipulate the cookie's filling to distribute evenly between the two wafer cookies. Alas, they could not. There is no perfect twist. It's basically about how it's put together.
Shout out to these scientists, though. This is definitely the best thing that scientists could be doing with their time right now. Shout out to them. Also, Hayes, I feel like we've talked Lucky Charms, marshmallows, candy bars, and now cookies as you're about to head to the dentist.
Yeah.
So, like, congrats. You've said, like, you're definitely going to have, like, a couple of cavities.
Yeah, actually, I already knew that going in. I neglect the dentist for a long time, and then I go see him like once a week for like a 6-month period, and just knock it all out. It's about the same as it would have been spread out. So I just have one shitty dentist year, and then like 4 years of bliss, of ignorance being bliss. Like bad things are happening, I just don't know about them. I leave it alone.
That's perfect.
I did this. I heard this promo on the Adam Gold show not too long ago when Alec Campbell was still there. But you know how like Oreos now. Like when you look at the Oreo aisle, there's like 30 different flavors or whatever. It's like apple Oreos, bacon Oreos, confetti Oreos. And there was one that was like a cookies and cream Oreo. I was like, wait a minute. Wait, that cookies and cream is like basically what we say because we can't say Oreo because it's trademarked, right? But like cookies and cream is Oreo. How do you have a cookies and cream cookie? I don't know. And finally, I'll leave you this. Moose gave me a clip, but I'll wait till he's back. But this is a reminder that Inside the NBA on TNT, I couldn't think of the name of the show. I wanted to call it like Barkley and Shaq. Inside the NBA on TNT, not that different from Sports Channel 8. I've been in Barkley's seat where you say something and then you look up and everyone else on the show is laughing at you. Here's what it sounded like last night.
When a guy's banging you, you spin off of him. Those are the worst defenders to play against, actually, because if you can feel their body, come on.
18 points for Joker, only Nugget in double figures. 69-59. Golden State shooting.
The look on Shaq's face when he's not Shaq, Barkley. He's clearly trying to make a point. Swain's gone. He's clearly trying to make a point, and like he's still looking. It doesn't realize what he said, and then you realize that everyone else is laughing. I got to give it to you one more.
When a guy's banging you, you spin off of him. Those are the worst defenders to play against, actually, because if you can feel their body, come on.
18 points for Joker, only Nugget in double figures. 69-59. Golden State shooting 67.
Always good stuff. All right, for Josh Goodson, for Brian Geisinger, for Ben Swain, and the golf-playing Weather Moose who doesn't do the show anymore. Have a good Friday. I'm trying not to be late to the dentist. Appreciate you guys indulging me. Sports Channel 8, we out.